Osili, welcome. I only ask that before you get into your formal remarks, you introduce your son, who I understand is here with you today.
Thank you very much, Chairman Young and Ranking Member Merkley and other distinguished members of the subcommittee. Before I begin, I'd like to introduce my son, who is here with me, Una Osili. He is a junior at Remittances Jesuit High School in Indianapolis. Okay, he's a junior at Rebuff Jesuit High School, and we're just so proud of Senator Young's work here in the U.S. Senate, and proud to call him a Hoosier Senator. So thank you.
It's great to have your son here, and thank you for being before the committee.
Okay. Chairman Young, Ranking Member Merkley, and other distinguished members of the subcommittee, thank you for the opportunity to testify today. It is an honor to appear before you in the company of these distinguished witnesses. I am the Director of Research at the Indiana University Lilly Family School of Philanthropy. The school is the world's first school dedicated solely to the study and teaching of philanthropy. Indiana University has been at the vanguard of philanthropy education since the Center on Philanthropy's founding, the school's predecessor, in 1987. The school has recently been entrusted with the honor of researching and producing 2 leading research reports that provide a detailed picture of the role of global philanthropy, including its impact on international development, and how national and international policies enable or limit such philanthropy. These 2 indices were founded and produced until recently by the Hudson Institute under the leadership of Dr. Carol Edelman, and the indices are the Index of Global Philanthropy and Remittances and the Index of Philanthropic Freedom. Private philanthropy plays an important role in American economic, social, and civic life, serving vulnerable and marginalized groups, providing risk capital for innovation, building communities, and reinforcing a national value that emphasizes individual action in pursuing the public good. However, philanthropy today is increasingly global. Our research allows us to understand, perhaps for the first time, how philanthropic giving is reshaping foreign aid and global development. Today, NGOs, foundations, individuals, corporations, and donors work collaboratively in far-flung corners of the globe alongside official development assistance. Several factors, including technological progress and the rapid pace of communication, make it easier to connect people around the world to address global problems through innovative approaches. To provide some numbers to ground our discussion, charitable contributions from U.S. individuals, estates, foundations, and corporations to U.S.-based international affairs organizations reached approximately $16 billion in 2015. That represented an 18% increase in 2014. This growth outperformed the growth in giving to all other charitable subsectors in 2015. There were more than 6,300 international charities in the U.S. in 2013. That represents about 2% of all reporting public charities. However, the smallest subsector witnessed the largest growth among all subsectors in the number of organizations at 19% between 2003 and 2013. Many of these organizations are new. They've been formed in the last 2 decades. The revenues and assets of these international affairs public charities increased nearly 50% and 70% respectively between 2003 and 2013. So with all this information, you can see that the global development landscape has changed quite significantly over the past 2 decades. To understand these changes, we're increasingly looking at the entire landscape of economic engagement with developing countries to further demonstrate the importance of private flows, including private philanthropy in the international arena. The Index of Global Philanthropy reports a measure of economic engagement with the developing world that actually includes official aid, private philanthropy, remittances, and private capital flows. This approach offers a more complete picture of a country's total engagement with the developing world and takes into account the critical role that the private sector plays in saving lives in the international development landscape. According to the 2016 Index of Global Philanthropy report, total government aid from the U.S. and 38 other countries included in the report to the developing world was about $147 billion in 2014, while private financial flows of capital investments, remittances, and philanthropy was about $801 billion, more than 5 times official government aid. To provide more insight here, this includes $513 billion in private capital flows, $224 billion in remittances, and $64 billion in private philanthropy. Private philanthropy alone accounts for 7% of total economic engagement with developing countries. Over the past decade, new forms of philanthropy are coming to light, such as impact investments and crowdfunding. These have led to the private sector to take an increasingly large and visible role in global development. Collaborations between large-scale donors, governments, foundations, NGOs, businesses, social enterprises, and civil society organizations, and others offer possibilities for improving billions of lives. Philanthropy plays a unique role. Both small and large gifts can actually help fuel scientific advances and serve as a catalyst for research in new areas of health, education, the environment, and other key sectors. Philanthropy can also fuel innovation in service delivery and in raising awareness around local and global health issues, including HIV/AIDS, malaria, education, as well as in new areas like female empowerment and the empowerment of young people. The Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization, the Gavi, a global Vaccine Alliance, provides an example of innovation catalyzed by private philanthropy, with initial funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, in this case leading to an effective partnership model of vaccine development, production, and provision to developing countries. Gavi has helped approximately 580 million children in developing countries receive immunization since its founding in 2000. Over 65 million children received immunizations with Gavi-supported vaccines in 2015 alone. Along countless examples, private philanthropy has also led to an increase in agricultural productivity to transform the food systems in many developing nations, to help curb violence in places like Bangalore in India, to reduce meningitis and onchocerciasis as major health problems in sub-Saharan Africa, and to respond quickly after disasters or even to prevent disasters. And finally, to help expand access to quality education for children in remote areas who otherwise would not have access to education. In the US, government policy provides much freedom to allow and promote the growth of philanthropy and the development of a healthy nonprofit sector. The US government has also scaled up new forms of organizations and new ideas in response to social challenges, both domestically and internationally. Globally, while some countries have witnessed an expansion of their nonprofit sector and growth in private philanthropy during recent years, there are also growing concerns about restrictive regulations on both domestic and cross-border philanthropy. The 2015 Index of Philanthropic Freedom report identified 3 major barriers to philanthropic freedom worldwide. These include, number 1, foreign exchange regulations and capital controls, which affect the ability to trade currencies and to move funds in and out of countries. Second, overly broad application of illicit financial flows, IFF legislation, which has imposed onerous reporting requirements on civil society organizations that receive foreign funds. And third, existing and proposed laws in some countries designed to restrict the flow of foreign funds to human rights organizations and watchdog groups. The International Center for Nonprofit Law also identified 4 common challenges restricting the operation of international development nonprofits globally. These constraints include restrictive legal requirements for the registration and operation of nonprofit organizations, restrictions on foreign funding and affiliations, and overly broad counterterrorism laws and regulations constricting activities that further international development, as well as the lack of trust between governments and nonprofit organizations. The school's ongoing research finds that cross-border philanthropy is subject to stricter oversight in about 20 countries where specific laws and regulations on foreign nonprofits have been passed or proposed since 2015. This increasing level of oversight towards foreign nonprofits has the potential to constrain philanthropic freedom globally and to greatly limit the ability of philanthropy to continue to fuel innovation and provide risk capital to address global challenges. More research is needed on global philanthropy and its role in international development, and is crucial to creating awareness among leaders and policymakers about the critical role that philanthropy plays in promoting economic and social development around the world. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today. I would be happy and honored to respond to any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Doctor.